How to build a business that runs without you whilst still making money. Today's video is going to dive deep and explore into one of the things that business owners find the hardest to do. Actually get the business running, get your time back while still making money. And so many businesses have tried, and in the past they've failed. But what I'm going to show you today is how to put the pieces of that puzzle together in a step-by-step way to make sure your business finally runs like clockwork without you. Imagine getting up out of bed to see that you've had hundreds of new leads come into your business. And whilst you've been sleeping, those hundreds of leads have converted into sales with an automated system. And now you're making more money than you've ever made before in your business. Does that sound like a dream? Does that sound like a good dream? And that's what we're going to talk to you about today. How can you get a business running without you and still make money? And having been in business myself now for 16 years, had some massive highs, had some lows, experienced lots and lots of different things in business. One of the things that I know very well, having done £156 million in sales across all the businesses that I've been in, is how to build systems, how to build lead generation systems, sales systems, marketing systems. And that is what we're going to talk about today on this video, which is going to be awesome. And look, trust me, I've been there when I've been working 80 hours a week, feeling frustrated, thinking that the only way to succeed is to just graft it out and work hard. I know how that feels. I know that many business owners are in that place. And sometimes when business owners are in that place, it feels very difficult to create change because you've got so much pressure and you feel like you're just treading water all the time, and you're saying to yourself, oh, this is, it's hard and it's difficult, and you probably can't always see the way out. But this video today, which I'm going to take you over to the whiteboard in a moment, we're going to talk about the brain shift that you need to make. There's a few small principles that are going to make a huge difference, which I'm going to share with you in a moment. We're also going to talk about the 5 critical systems that you need to put into your business for business success. So if you want more success, you want more time back, you want to make more money, you're going to love this. And if that wasn't enough, I'm then going to talk to you about how to get your A team around you so your business can literally run without you, and you can do what you want, when you want, with whoever you want, whilst enjoying business success. Let's jump over to the whiteboard and start to break it down. So there's 5 really important things that I'm going to cover in this video, which can give you a unique advantage in building your business. The first one is, as we've just mentioned, the brain shift, the ways of thinking, acting, and doing that are going to allow you to get more done and create more success. The second is the 5 critical systems, and these systems are critical. Absolute massive scalable success cannot be achieved without putting these systems in place, and we are going to peel back the layers on that and get you into the detail so you can understand how to leverage systems within your business. Then the next part, we're going to talk about the power of SOPs. But what's going to be quite unique about this video, where in many videos you might have heard about SOPs before, read a bit about SOPs, is we're going to link the systems to the SOPs so the business can start to run without you. We're then going to talk about your A team, which are going to be following the SOPs. And then we're going to add in tech, which is going to allow you to start to drive your business using automation. Following these 5 steps, we are going to be able to build a really compelling business that starts to run without you while still making money. Let's jump into number 1, the brain shift. So the brain shift, this is very critical in you building your business. And as I've just shown you on the 5 steps, we're going to go step by step in getting this done. And the first step of any type of change when it comes to building a business, building your businesses out, is you've always got to look inwardly before you start taking action outwardly. What do I mean? Well, first of all, the one thing that's showing up to your business meetings is you. The one thing that's showing up to your sales meetings is you. The one thing that's showing up to your marketing meetings is you. You are fundamentally important within the business. The way you think ends up influencing what you hold in your hand. And if you are not making money, if you are not getting great results in your business, we've got to change the way we think so we can start getting you bigger results. Hopefully that makes sense. There's a couple of simple do's and don'ts here. So let's talk about the do's. Let's talk about the don'ts. So when we look at the don'ts and we look at the do's, it can often be overwhelming for business owners to make those changes. There's some of the things that I'm going to talk to you about now. You say, yeah, I do that, but, and you're going to come up with different reasons as to why you do that, but it's the way that we make those changes that are going to make the big difference. So if we look at the don'ts, one of them, you can see I've got the superhero on the chest here. If you are going to build a scalable business that creates great success, you can't be the superhero of the business in every single department. You're going to have to let some of your people and some of your teams follow the systems we're talking about later and the processes we're going to talk about later. You're going to have to let them implement and see them through. The problem with a superman in the business or a superwoman in the business is them diving in and solving all the problems doesn't allow the teams to grow, doesn't allow the teams to raise their levels. And this is a trap that many business owners, many CEOs fall into. And I don't want you to fall into this trap. You being the superhero of the business is not going to be the thing that gets the business running without you, because all you're doing is you're training everyone around you to go, well, look, if it all goes wrong, he's going to come in and jump in and save the day, or she's going to come in and save the day anyway, so it doesn't really matter if it all goes wrong. No, you want people taking responsibility. You want to allow people to follow the systems, follow the SOPs that we're going to talk about later, and put things in place. So you've got to come out of that trap of being the superhero. So don't be the superhero in the business and jump in. And this is something personally I've done in the past, loads and loads of times, made this mistake too many times for sure, where it's almost like you want to feel needed. Or you see something going wrong, you're like, I know I can fix that. I can fix it quickly. It only takes me 10 seconds to swear, I'll just do it. The problem is, then you're coming in your business and you're fixing everything every 10 minutes, every single where. And the more you grow, the more problems and challenges you've got, and you just can't get through it all. So you end up exhausted, you end up burnt out, you end up frustrated. Does any of this sound familiar? Perhaps it does. Maybe you're being a superhero in your business right now. And if you are, we've got to cut that out. We've got to stop it. And we've got to allow our teams, we've got to allow our people to grow within the business. Which brings me to the second one, which is the DIY person. I'll just do it myself. This is even worse than superhero. Superhero allows their teams to get on with it, do some stuff. And when they mess up, jumps in. Actually, we don't want to, I'll tell you what to do instead of that in just a moment. But the I'll do it myself person is even worse. It's like the child with the toys. No, they're my toys, I'll do it, right? And they go in and they just don't let anybody do anything. And they're like, oh, I'll work 10-hour days. Oh, I can't get it all done. I work 12-hour days. Oh, I'll work 14-hour days. They look angry. They get frustrated. They don't make progress. We need to stop that. If you really want your free time back, if you really want to build a compelling business, we need to get out that mindset. Do this instead. This is a principle that will help you. We call it toad it in my business. My management teams are familiar with this. They understand this concept. And this acronym is not just an acronym that we read out of a book. This is something that we made up out of this type of frustration. We're like, hey, we keep experiencing this. What do we do to fix it? And it became very clear that if people were not able to do the job effectively, and we needed to be superheroes, then really there was more training required in those teams to be able to do the job better. So the first mindset, brain shift you have to make instead of I'll run in and jump in and save everyone, is how can we train our people more effectively? That's number one. The second one, if we haven't got the people to do the job, instead of you stressing yourself, jumping in, or you doing all the work, we say, how can I outsource this role to someone that can help us either with the skill set, help the team, help us implement it. So we've got training, we've got outsourcing. The next one is, can we automate this process to take out the human element, which will allow us to get this done in a better way? The next one is, can we delegate this task? This is one you should be asking yourself and making a list of all the things that you can delegate. What can I delegate out so you can remove the workload, pass that workload on to other people? And then the final one, you see there's a hammer here. This one stands for discipline. Is there any discipline required that we need to talk to the team, performance management team, have conversations with the team in order to get them to raise the levels? Now, this runs through my mind when running the business. This runs through my mind. If I ever feel like I want to be Superman, I think Toad it. If I ever feel like I'll just do it myself, I think Toad it. And that for me fundamentally has been a huge shift in the way that my brain works in terms of getting businesses to run without me. So you can borrow that from me to you, start to use that within your business. And if you've enjoyed that, you can put in the comments, Toad it. Maybe you find a toad emoji if you can. We'll give you a special shout out there in the comments for sure. Now, what you can see here, which is there's a secondary piece underneath our Toad it, and we'll just delete this. You can see I like to get super creative here, is another thing that you must do as the CEO is you must be looking to the future. So it's up to you to decide what the vision is and then ensure that that vision is taking you towards your goals where you want to be. These are the critical elements. Now the problem is a CEO can't have visions if they're constantly fighting fires. A CEO can't get the business to the vision if they're constantly working on tasks. So you've got to move out of tasks and get into vision and better operational management. And this is number one, the brain shift. This will allow you to get a foundation and a footing that helps you to start a business that runs without you as step number one. Now that alone is not enough, but if you can start to see the benefits of that, you can tell me in the comments, tell me Toad it, tell me vision that you're going to put these things in place, and also get a little bit vulnerable here. If you have been that person that's been working all the hours under the sun, doing all the work we need to get out of that, maybe you can tell us about some of your experiences. But look, what happens if you keep doing that? You have to ask yourself that question. If you keep working 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours a day, you sacrifice your health, you miss your family, you might end up having a business, but that business is not going to run without you. And if the business doesn't run without you, what you've got is a job with very long hours with a boss that you don't like that much. Well, you probably prefer your old boss than the one you've got right now if you keep doing those hours. Hopefully that makes sense. So how you change is how you succeed. So there are 5 systems that we add to the brain shift. The first system is we need a lead generation system for the business. This is critical. Now, if you are an e-commerce business, this wouldn't be a lead generation, it would be a traffic generation. So depending on whether you've got if you sell products online and you're just driving sales through websites, then you're not going to need a lead gen, you're going to need a traffic. If you're a service-based business, then you need a lead generation system, which is setting up a system that brings you in consistent inquiries into your business. You can't build a business that runs without you if you don't know where your leads are coming from, if you don't know where your inquiries are coming from. It's absolutely critical. The reason it's critical is because you can't hire people to run in your business if they've got no leads, they've got no inquiries to look after. So if you are looking to get your business working without you, the first thing you got to do is get your brain shift right, as we've discussed, and then say, what is my lead generation system that I can get consistent leads? Now, what does consistent look like? If you can, the volume of leads doesn't necessarily matter, but the consistency does. So for example, let's say you could get 10 new leads coming into your business every single day. What you may then be able to do is hire someone to look after those 10 new leads, or get some systems looking after those 10 new leads to nurture them towards the sale. And because you've got those 10 new leads every single day, you've got 70 new inquiries across the course of the week, or 50 if you do 5-7 days, whatever you're open, then you can start to look at converting those leads, and you can do the maths. This is important. So, do the maths. Consistent inquiries into the business is what allows you to start to build your business out and build the operation, the team, and everything like that. And that's the first critical system. The second critical system is that you need a sales process to convert your consistent leads. So lead generation system first, sales process second. Now we've got those 70 leads coming in. Who is going to be the person that takes them from a lead to a sale? How are we going to do that? Are we going to do that with physical people? Are we going to do that via the phone? Are we going to do that face-to-face? Are we going to do that via a webinar? Are we going to do it online? What is your sales process? Because when you get that system in place and you can bring people in and you can train them on that, all of a sudden, consistent leads, consistent sales, consistent revenue, consistent income. Very simple. That's the second critical system. The third critical system is your delivery mechanism of your product or service. This becomes very, very important. And by the way, I'm giving you the highlight, and then we'll show you how these link together in a simple way. But the highlight is this: leads, sales, delivery. Now, what happens a lot of the time is business owners go, delivery, no leads, no sales, nothing to deliver. It needs to go the other way. Leads, sales, delivery. You have to work on this process first, which is getting leads or traffic into the business. You need to work on your sales system second, then you work on your delivery system. How do you get your product to your buyer with the least amount of fuss, in the most automated, systematic way, where you get those happy customers getting their products and services as soon as possible? What we then need to look at next is our retention strategy, which is critical system number 4. Now you've got your leads, you've got your sales, you've got your product delivery. We want to not be consistently having to find new leads all the time to drive our business. We want to say, well, how do I retain those existing clients that I've gone out and got? So this is where we're going to look at our CRM. We're going to look at making sure we've got email marketing in place to keep in touch with them. We're going to look at the product cycle, making sure we can introduce new products to them. And this is the 4th critical system that we need to get in place. Then we have the 5th system, which is our finance system. Our finance system means that we are getting the cash in. We are monitoring the cash conversion cycle. We're making sure that we get paid for the products or services. We're making sure we have a system to pay our costs of goods, our suppliers, and all of the systems run in place. Now, these 5 systems for your business combined are what allow the business to run like clockwork. Now, this is really simple, but this is how you can start to think of your business in a simple way. So critical system 1, get more leads. Where are you going to get the leads from? Where are you getting the leads from currently? How many are you currently getting in? Do an assessment on your lead generation strategy. Are you currently using paid ads to drive new leads into the business? If you are not using paid ads, is the system that you are running predictable, consistent, i.e. can you track the amount of leads in every single week? Do you know what those cost of those leads are? How much it's costing you to get the leads in? If you don't, you need to work on number 1. Now, you want a business that runs without you. You can't have a business that runs without you if you don't have consistent inquiries, because that means that you're constantly going to be pushing everyone. You've got to go in, you've got to go on. Oh, we need some more leads, we need some more leads. Oh, talk to the marketing team, talk to the sales team. And then you're working all the time. Now, if you want this business to run without you, we don't want that. We need bring the leads in consistently through a system. Paid ads works well. Because now you'll be like, okay, Adam, I haven't got that. I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. So I'll tell you what we do. We use paid ads for most of our leads into the business. That's one big part. We keep a steady flow coming in. And keeping that steady flow coming into the business means that we can put people on the telephone, we can put people to events, people to webinars. This allows us to get that consistent flow of leads coming in the business on a continual basis. You can do the same. That is critical system number one if you want your business running without you. By the way, if you don't want your business running without you, you don't necessarily need that system. But if you do want the business running out of you, it's critical. Can't happen unless you've got it. Number two, we need a sales process that converts the leads. So this is, how are you converting them? Are you using people on the phones? Are you using people on Zoom calls? Are you using an event strategy in person? Are you using a webinar strategy where you get people onto a call? What is it that you're doing as a system to convert those leads into sales on a consistent basis? Again, if it's not systematized, if you have to parachute in like the superhero, it's not going to run without you. So we've got to work on that system second. We work on the delivery mechanism third. We work on the retention mechanism, CRM, automated emails, as we say, and finance. They work together like clockwork. Leads, sales, product delivery, keep the clients, offer them more products, keep getting finance, keep driving the business in. So what you want to look at here is assessing where are you at on those 5 systems. And perhaps you could tell me in the comments if you need to pause, if you need to download the video. If you're on premium, you can literally download these and you can come back to it and you're not going to lose it, which is quite important. Or you can just press the pause button so you can establish. What you want to be saying is, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good is our system for leads? You know, have we got consistency? Have we got that in place? How good is our sales system? Where are we at on that? How good is getting our products out to market? How good is our retention? How many of our clients come back? How many of our clients buy again and again? What's the lifetime value of our clients? What's happening with that? And then you want to look at how good is our finance? I think this, by the way, you know, having worked with thousands of businesses, I'm working with thousands of businesses consistently, and the finance function usually is quite weak. And if you don't monitor your written sales versus your cash collection, if you don't look at what you're missing out on, what's not being collected, if you're not looking at how you manage your cash in the right way, and you don't have good systems, you are heading for a problem. That is critical. The bigger you get, the more important it gets, and the more important that function becomes. And look, you know, I didn't love finance when I got into business, but I very quickly realized that if I wanted to do well, I had to fall in love with that function as well. And that's something that you need to get to know and you need to master. Super important. So they're the 5 critical systems. Give yourself a score on 1 to 10 on where you're at. Work your way through those. And if you need help doing these sorts of things, this is what we can do. In the comments, you can find some links about how you can work with us. Lots of different options there. You know, we have classes, workshops, coaching, mentoring. We can help you with this stuff, right? No problem at all. So what do you do next? What happens next after you looked at the 5 systems? This is really simple. You write up what we call SOPs, Standard Operating Procedures. Now let's keep this really simple because it is simple and it is easy. This is our lead generation system. This is the standard operating procedure of our lead generating system. This is how it works. So if you've got Bob or Joe running your lead generation system and Bob or Joe walk away and off they go, guess what? We can get somebody else in. We have a system for them to follow. You've heard, if you haven't watched the film The Founder, McDonald's, they literally had standing operating procedures for absolutely everything. Standard operating procedures in McDonald's for how to make a hamburger, how to make a cheeseburger. And I remember watching the film The Founder. I don't know if you remember that, when they went and they got a cheeseburger and it had 1 too many pickles. So this is against the system. So what you want to do is you want to get your systems in play and build a standard operating procedure to follow those systems so that whoever is executing on the systems can do it effectively. That's the key. Most miss that. They'll set the system up, and this is what happens all the time. And if you are a successful business owner, I bet you've experienced this, and you can tell me in the chat if you have. This just happens all the time. We do the work, we set the systems up, we put in place, I've got this new system, it's incredible. It's going to change the business, it's going to go, we put it in place, everyone's using it for a month. I knew it was going to be awesome, it's going to be incredible. 1 month later, nobody's using it. And you're like, I thought we had a system for this. But you've got to back the system up with the SOP to make sure that this gets executed and followed through. This helps with your Toad It, which we talked about earlier. It helps with your training. It helps with your outsourcing. It helps with your automating. It helps with your discipline, and it helps with your delegation. So all of these that I've walked through so far work together. By the way, have you noticed that you're getting a blueprint here? This is not random information. This is working together in a step-by-step way. Which brings us to number 4, which is the A team. So this is how to set your team up so the business runs without you. Now we can do more on team, and if you'd like to see more on, building out more of the lower tier teams, the management team, and you want to look at how do we build out the junior team, then tell me in the comments, or perhaps put part 2 on team and we can look at that. But what I'm going to talk to you about initially is for an SME, what does the senior management team look like? So these are the elements of the senior management team, and this is how it works. So you are the CEO, and you are looking as the visionary to the future, where the business is going. Now, when you start looking to the future and getting centered on where you're going and what the journey is, you can start to drive that business in that direction. If you choose that you want to step away from the business, then you're going to have to hire someone that's got vision, that wants to take the business in a direction. Perhaps you become the chairman and you hire a CEO that can run your business, that's got really great vision. What you don't want to do is hire necessarily an ops person to be CEO, because the CEO has characteristics like yourself. They're an entrepreneur, they're a visionary, they want to go in this direction, where your ops person is the day-to-day person. And a lot of people make this mistake, is they bring in the ops person to be the CEO. The CEO is the visionary. The ops, so let's just break this down and make it really simple. CEO, future. They are going to the future. This is what the future is going to look like. This is what we're going to create. This is the direction of the business. Ops, this is today. I'm working on the day-to-day, I'm following the systems, the processes, the SOPs, I'm making sure everybody does it. If you're a CEO, when I start talking about systems and SOPs, you're like, I want those, but how do I do it? Because you're not ops focused. So your ops person would typically do those type of elements, and they would run the day-to-day. So a good example of this is Steve Jobs was very visionary, but he needed the trains to run on time, so he brought in Steve Wozniak, which was the person that's going to do the day-to-day of the products and making sure the products are cool and run the product teams and aspects like that. Now, Steve Jobs, visionary. Steve Wozniak, day-to-day. And then you have a CFO, which is your finance department. So let's just label these up so you understand how the A team works. CEO, future-based. COO, present-based. They run the day-to-day. CFO, they're in the past. They look at all the things that you have been doing and they make sure that they've got the systems and the processes in place. Now, if you don't want to do any roles and you want your business running fully without you, then you need to bring yourself up here, and you can be the chairman, but you need a CEO, a visionary, a COO, a day-to-day, and you need a CFO to do your finance numbers. That's how you get the A team in place to start running your business. And then finally, you're ready for number 5, which is the tech. So we need to make sure that you have information and systems in place so you get good visibility on running the business. And this is how you get yourself out of it, by knowing exactly what's going on in it. Not relying on people, but relying on systems, relying on technology. So there's a few different aspects here. First of all, you need a CRM. manage your customers. Customer relationship management does what it says on the tin. A CRM is how are you going to communicate with your customers, how are you going to communicate with your clients, how are you going to build relationships, how are you going to do it consistently. That's what it's there for. It's there so you can send emails. It's there so you can automate messages. It's there so you can manage delivery. It's there for all those different aspects. Is we can add that to our marketing. We can put our funnels in that to drive that lead generation system. We can get our sales process in there to run a high ticket pipeline. And most of the systems that we talked about can be done on a CRM. We have a version of CRM called My Instant Business. We can put a link in the chat. You can go and check it out. Does all those systems if you want to put those in place. And what I like to couple that with is a project management system. CRM is great for the business operations, running the business operations, putting the systems in place. But I really love to have an organizational system. And certainly if you've got an ops person, this is what they would do in your business, is they would put an operational system in to make sure the trains run on time. So the product management system we use is Monday. I have no affiliation to Monday, but I recommend it because we use it and I like it. But you could use Trello, which is pretty much a free version. You can use like Asana. All of these are different. Go and check a few out, see what you like. But it's a really good way of getting your teams to implement and put things in place. What I also like to do to couple this with is making sure that we have performance KPIs. So every team member has 2 to 3 very obvious KPIs on their systems. KPI standing for Key Performance Indicator. And I like to give 2 or 3 each. These 3 numbers are how you know whether you are hitting your metrics, whether you're doing your job right. Putting those in for each team member really allows the team to get clear. And you can take it a step further. This is something I've recently gone over with our Inner Circle members is getting a system called an OKR system. So an OKR is what is your objective and what are the key results that tell you whether you are meeting that objective. This has been used within Google very successfully, and many other the biggest companies in the world use OKR. What's the objective? What are the key results of the objective to make sure we're staying on track? And they also have software to manage this and software to manage this. One of the softwares for OKRs is called Profit. One of the softwares for performance KPIs, we use Microsoft BI. And if you combine all of these elements that we have talked about, very quickly, you are going to create what our original objective after all these drawings was, you are going to create a business that runs without you. We've covered the brain shift. We've covered the 5 systems. We've covered the SOPs. We've covered the A-team. We've covered tech. It is now about implementation so we can start to execute and put the elements in to make sure that your business runs without you. So there you have it. I've walked you through the steps in a very step-by-step way to show you how to start getting your business to run without you. Now, the information, of course, is one thing, and I would encourage you to go back through those information. You have to watch that 3 to 4 times. Watch it 3 or 4 times. If you've got people in your business that you can share that with to get insights, you should do that too. But information not acted upon means nothing. It's all about execution. And if you're a business owner that loves advanced strategy, putting concepts in place that can really grow your business, and you want to make more money in your business but get more time back, then the Gold Circle coaching program that we have, that we mentor business owners and coach business owners just like you, could be a great fit. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link in the description. Just go and have a look. There's a cool video there. You can see what we do with our clients. We brand them up by getting them celebrity exposure. We get them in the media. We give them the advanced strategies. We get them their time back and guarantee that they will make more money in their businesses. So go and check that out. It could be a really cool fit for you. I want to say thanks a lot for watching this video. If you've watched all the way to the end, you're an A player. And I always say, comment A player if you got this far, because it just tells me who the real ones to watch are, the people that are taking the action, putting it in play, and I think that's a really cool thing. So go and comment A player for us below. And of course, if you haven't, we're doing videos like this all the time, which can help you move the needle, get better results, to go faster in your business. So make sure that if you haven't already, that you've liked, commented, and subscribed on the video. And I look forward to catching up and perhaps working with you in person very, very soon.